Okay, guys. So I was asking, have you guys had a chance to create your boot project, your first boot project? And have you guys tried it by using spring.starter.io by any chance? Because it will take only 2 minutes.
Yes, Harish.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Cool. So which way of creating do you guys like? Using the STS or you going to the website?
Going to website, I think it is better.
Yeah. Anyway, if you, even though if you use STS, again it will connect to the spring starter.io, right? Again,
Yes.
one more question. Do you guys feel comfortable creating a Spring Boot project or normal regular Maven project? Which one is better again?
Spring Boot project is better.
Cool. That's awesome, guys. Okay, let's do a quick recap, and then we can create our web services, the first web service. Okay, let's do a quick recap. Right. Can somebody tell me what all the concepts we discussed yesterday? And also, I want you guys to compare Spring Boot with Spring and what kind of advantages we are gaining with Spring Boot. I want you guys to tell me, and also the features. Okay, please. If you guys want, as usual, I can start. First, with Spring Boot.
From
Yeah, go ahead.
no discussing about from Spring Boot or from Spring European notes like whatever the topic discussion is today.
No. With just compare Spring Boot with Spring, and then we will talk about Spring Boot features which we discussed yesterday.
Okay,
Because
well,
yesterday, if you remember
Uh,
properly, we compared Spring Boot with Spring,
uh,
and I showed you the advantages.
yeah, Harish, in Spring, basically, it takes time for us to find the compatible versions of dependencies. Wherever on Spring Boot we have something like starters, which will resolve and group dependencies for us. All the dependency related problems. So it basically helps in grouping dependencies together as a form.xml.
Good point. Thank you.
Uh, Again, in Spring, we need to write that boilerplate codes. Like yesterday, we saw that data source creation, view resolver. But in Spring Boot, we have boot auto configure feature, which will like auto configure. We will pass parameters, and it will somewhat create that thing for us.
Perfect. So everybody is clear with auto configure feature, right?
yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Because that is a feature which we'll be using a lot in Spring Boot. Okay. Right. Next one.
We can say the primary features of Spring is dependency injection, where in Spring Boot, the primary features of Spring Boot is like it provides auto configuration.
Perfect. It's a good point.
Uh,
Right. Next, please.
In Spring Boot, we also have that actuator which will help us in getting all the information about bean or monitoring and thread count, heap count. So
Basically, can I tell performance
yeah,
fixes?
performance of right. Performance of the application.
Monitor the performance.
And again, Spring Boot has it will provide. There was test which provides us like they can create JUnit test cases in Spring Boot, which is like not supported or not in
Perfect.
Basically, Spring Boot gives
yeah
us production-ready application,
Right.
so we don't need to war it or something like that, and we get the embedded Tomcat, so it will run on it.
Perfect.
And
It
also,
provides like embedded server
thing
Tomcat.
is opinion oriented. That is what.
Can somebody tell me what is opinion oriented, please?
Okay, so opinion oriented means suppose if we are defining any dependency which we need, and the jars or dependencies for which the other dependencies for which are required for that dependency, which will be like automatically configured by Spring Boot, and it assumes the kind of functionality it needs to do. It kind of
Perfect.
creates its opinion. Uh, so that
Okay.
is, everything need not to be defined with that. It
Okay.
automatically takes an opinion, automatically gives us something. That
Perfect. So everybody's clear with that concept, right? Opinion oriented. Do you guys need some more clarity? I can provide you with an example. Cool. Okay. What else we discussed yesterday?
about SOA, that service oriented architecture. What is it, and components of it, its principles. So basically, service oriented architecture, it is like creating one more service layer above the existing service layer for communication. Like yesterday, we thought that example of truck availability of truck in different portals. So
Perfect.
for that, yeah. So for that advertisement of our trucks to that different portal, this comes into picture.
So anything else about SOA or any other web services which we discussed?
We have implementation, so like web services.
Hmm?
What is web services? Basically, it is used to communicate between two applications
Okay.
over the network.
This is a way to communicate between two
Two
components.
application over the network.
I'm writing components. It can be with a machine to machine interaction. That means application to application interaction, or it can be with the human as well. Okay. Right.
Yes.
Next, please.
There
Okay,
is two
we
types of
also
web services. There are two types of web services like SOAP and REST.
No. These are just example, guys. Okay. Then there are not only two types. There are too many. Okay. I just gave
Yes,
an
yes.
example about SOAP and REST for your understanding. See, gRPC, Google RPC, it is also a web service because we can communicate over HTTP. Okay. This is an
Yes, yes.
example.
Yes, so I've discussed
You can tell
about,
there
for
are two types
example,
of
like SOAP and
communications. Unfortunately, we didn't discuss. I'll tell you this, but I discussed about this in the very first big class itself. There are two types of communications. One is synchronous and another one is asynchronous. I'll talk about that in some time. Let's continue with our review. Okay, next please. So we talked about SOAP.
Yeah, and in which we saw that it will use JAX, WS, and the language used were, I guess, WSDL, uh, web service language.
Yeah, web service description language.
Yeah, web service description language.
Perfect.
And again, there was some drawback with SOAP also, which was a fixed message format, which is like we can use different formats of data in REST API, which is not supported by SOAP, obviously.
Perfect. We discussed about REST as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So what did I tell about security, guys?
security wise, SOAP is provides its own security. So REST is also provides security, like, but it's not provides its own security. It provides HTTPS, or we can go for
Perfect. In fact, guys,
in REST we
if
can
you remember
provide
correctly,
HTTPS.
oops, go ahead, Akshay. Go ahead.
In REST it provides HTTPS, and we can go for like token kind of security. Like,
Okay. Tokens. Cool. Next.
And
Is it
it
stateless or
provides JAX
stateless?
arrays API. It's stateless. REST is
Perfect.
basically stateless.
Can somebody, apart from Akshay or Shahan, can somebody define what is stateless? If I remember correctly, I gave definition and I explained what is stateless. Okay, let me pick. How about Kalim?
Yeah, hi Harish.
Hey, hi.
So stateless,
No worries. If you forgot that concept, I can explain again.
okay.
Okay. Somebody else?
Okay, Harish. So in stateless, you told that the information will not be stored in sessions. So that happens in REST, and that is why it is called as stateless protocol, because no information of the either side is stored in the session.
No, it's
So
not about the session, Diksha. I told you, if you remember correctly. So session is not something which we can control. Session is something which client can control. So for example, in our truck application, so we discussed about sessions, right? So session is getting created by browser whenever you are entering into our website, and I am using that in my server side. That is session. Okay, statelessness again, guys. Listen carefully. Statelessness is something which a server does not store any kind of information regarding the client. Not in the sessions, guys. Not in the sessions. Not in the cookies. No, because we don't have control over cookies and sessions. I mean, no backend will have control over cookies and sessions. We cannot do anything with that. Okay. So
Okay.
basically, statelessness means server will not store any kind of information regarding the client. So whenever a client initiates a request every time, okay, that request will be treated as a new request by the by the server. Okay.
yeah, Harish. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Next, please. What did we discuss?
Uh, it provides
About the
JAX
methods.
arrays API.
So didn't I tell it will take full advantage of HTTP, right? So we
Yeah.
will be doing the CURD operations by using the HTTP methods. Can somebody tell me what are the methods we have in HTTP?
Okay, so it will get for like getting a resource, new resource, post for creating a new resource, and there was put. It was like replacing the existing resource completely,
Perfect.
and replacing a part, not the complete resource or something, a part of the resource. And
Perfect.
there was head for storing header info,
Yes.
and there was options also.
Yeah, yeah. Perfect. Options. Cool. Right. So anything else which we discussed yesterday?
Yeah, about the ways of creating Spring Boot application.
Perfect. I was expecting that. Boot application. Okay. Let me write like this. Ways of creating Spring Boot application. Cool.
And
Hey Harish, could you please share the delete method also?
Oh, we forgot that. Thank you. Right. Any other?
that auto configuration is we don't get it by default in Spring Boot. Enable auto configuration.
Yes. So we discussed about at the rate Spring Boot application annotation, right? So what will it have in Spring Boot annotation application?
Basically, it is the combination of we can say configuration, enable auto configuration, and component scan.
Perfect. Enable, okay, auto configuration plus at the rate component scan. Perfect. Thank you guys. It was really good discussion. So everybody is clear with all the concept what we discussed yesterday, right?
Yes, Harish.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, before going to start the session, let me write the agenda. Today, we will create our web service, REST web service, first web service. Okay. Then we will try to create web services for our services for our project, our truck management project, just to show you guys how SOA works. Okay, how existing code will be integrated with the new component which we are going to write. Truck management. After that, we will see, I told you guys web services is something like which can be consumable, right? So that means we need to have a client. We need to see how we can consume them, how a machine to machine, I mean how a application to application interaction is possible. So for that purpose, let's see how to consume a web application, sorry, web service. Okay. After that, if we have time, we will discuss about how to run our application on HTTPS. Okay, if we have time. And of course, we'll be solving the issue which we had yesterday with our application. Okay, so before going to start our first REST service, do you guys have any questions on any concepts which we discussed? Anybody? Okay, so if no questions, then let's start our session. First, as I promised earlier, I'll be explaining about the ways of communication. There are two ways: sync and async. Okay, sync means synchronous communication. Async means asynchronous communication. I wrote the short forms here. Okay, but sync is synchronous, async is asynchronous. So what is synchronous? First, let's see. For any kind of communication, right, we need two parties. Two parties is required. Let's say A communicates with B. That means either A is going to initiate the request or B is going to initiate the request, right? Either way, it can be either way. Now let's talk about synchronous. In the case of synchronous, let's say I am the consumer. Okay, I am going to initiate a request to some other producer. In our case, the example which I gave right now, A and B. A will initiate the request, B will respond. So A will wait till it gets the response, So this is synchronous. Okay guys, just a good example. Okay, yesterday we did a search on Expedia, right? We found out some of the flights. So here Expedia is A and B, the service providers. For example, Air Canada. Okay, that is an example. WestJet, that is one more example. So here the communication is happening synchronously, which means if you remember properly, there was a loading bar, right? So our client Expedia waited for the servers to respond, the services to respond. So any questions on that, guys? Okay, no questions. Moving forward to async. Here, in here as well, we need two parties. Okay, A and B. Let's assume A and B, but I'll explain with the example again. But let's take A and B. Okay, now here I don't have to initiate the communication. Okay, instead what B will do, B will write something, right? Something into a queue or a message queue. I'm giving an example, guys. A Kafka topic or a topic, normal ActiveMQ topic or RabbitMQ topic. These are the different ways, or TIBCO EMS. Okay, these are messaging services. We will be using a bus here, common bus. Okay, messaging bus. We call as MS, messaging bus. It can be of any type. So into the bus. And whenever A is available, it will read from the bus. In this mode of communication, B doesn't care about A. That means whether A will read or not. My duty is I'll just write it. Even though you are not initiating the request, I'll write it. That's all. And A will read it when it has some time, okay, and configuration, and based on the configuration, right? So here, no party is dependent on anybody, right? Anyway, it will be listening on some of the bus or the topic to get the message, okay? But it is not going to initiate the request. For example, in the same Expedia application, okay, let's say we booked a flight. How Expedia is going to send those details, the booking details, to a vendor? Say for example, I booked Air Canada flight. So how is it going to send the reservation to that? Obviously there will be a PNR generated, but regarding the in the backend, how it happens? So as soon as I register, instead of initiating a request, instead of putting a burden on it, so they are going to have a common bus, so they are going to write it. That is asynchronous way. Again, guys, it's just an example. I'm not sure how they configured it, but it's just an example. So any questions on that? Cool. Let's get started. No questions. Okay, before going to start, one more topic which I need to discuss, because we are entering into REST services. We need to know about the HTTP codes. Okay, because whenever we initiate a request, whenever we are trying to get a request or response from our server responds with some codes, okay, just to notify the client whether the operation is successful or not. Can somebody tell me what are the HTTP codes which you might have seen? Basically in the web application also we will see those codes. If you want, I can tell some. Just I'll start one. 404, not found.
Yeah, 200 is okay.
200 is okay. That means successful.
201 is created.
201 is created.
Yeah.
Right.
500 is server not found.
500 is internal server exception.
Internal server exception. Sorry.
Right.
403 is
Which you guys
forbidden.
can think of.
Yeah. Basically, we can categorize in 4 ways. Like starting from 100, it will be informative, and 200 will be. I have some confusion between them.
No, I'll write
300 series. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to explain everything. I just wanted to know what kind of codes you observed in developing the application, any application, because we will see these are common codes. Okay.
Yes.
Whenever
And
there is
403 is
HTTP
unauthorized.
communication protocol, we will see these kind of HTTP messages. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay. So
403 is unauthorized.
401.
401. Okay.
By any chance you saw 204?
204.
No content. Even though the operation is successful, let's say for example,
for delete.
Yeah, for delete, the operation is successful and there is no content. So no content.
Yeah.
Right. Anything else you guys think of? Whenever
Get
you
403.
do some kind of syntax errors. Right. By any chance, you guys observed 417? Like 417? This is syntax error. Right. By any chance, 400 guys. I guess this we might have seen in web application development. It's a bad request,
That request.
right? So these are some of the codes which we will be using a lot. But anyway, to give an information, like Shahan told, we are going to basically they are segregated into 5 different kinds of errors. Okay, 5 different kinds of HTTP codes. So for example, from 100 to 199, like he already mentioned, these are informative or informational response codes. Right. Now the other category, 200 to 299. Right. These are successful response codes. For example, 200, it's okay. 201, created. 204, successful operation, but no content. Something like that. Okay. Just to give an example. So successful. CSUESSFUL. Successful codes. Right. The other one, 300 to 399. Basically, these are redirects. We will see in case we are doing that. If we are dealing with them. Otherwise, let's figure out. I'll speak about that in some time. Anyway, 399 redirection. Now, if you see properly something regarding 400, right? These are client errors, because 404 means which I didn't mention to client that is available. They are searching for some component which is not available. That is client error. Similarly, 417, they need to follow the syntax, right? It's a client error. 400, they need to provide a legitimate request to me. They should not provide bad request. So these are client errors. So that is from 400 to 499. Client errors, ERRORS. Right. Now, if we observe properly, we saw something called 500. That is internal server exception. That is issue with the server. So we can segregate 500 to 599. These are related to server. Right. So any questions on that, guys? No questions? Cool. Moving forward into our session. Okay. So yesterday we were struck with some of the issue, and the issue is related to initially we started our web services development, our Spring Boot application development with development with 2.4.0, right? So there was a dependency on by mistake there was a dependency has been added on Mongo, right? And I couldn't get that configured properly. So that's why we had that issue. So I was able to change it to 2.3.4, and I was able to successfully get this application up and running. That is the only change I did, guys. So any question on that? In fact, because I changed earlier 2.3.4, but there is an issue with my temp. So my temp was picking the old versions still. So I had to do some change, deleting the temp and recreating it. That is the only change which I did. By any chance, have you guys imported the project and tested it in your local? It's okay. If you try to import, because I already changed 2.3.4 for the first time, you'll not get any kind of errors. Okay, now let's see. As I told yesterday, we can build web application as well, but let me start and see how it works. Okay, where is my UI? Git bash here. Okay, let me just clean install. Okay. Okay. If you observe properly, the truck fleet application has been started, and it is running in 8887 port. And we already observed the web application context, so that's why I'm not speaking anything about that. Okay. So the JDBC also we saw already. Now let me quickly open localhost colon 8887. Localhost colon 8887. Not found. Let's go to login. Oh, again there is an issue. Sorry guys, just give me some time. Let's debug what is happening. Can't find. Okay. 8887. Did I use the correct port? Okay, that is weird. Now let's quickly check the configurations which we provided. Okay, everything is good. See that? My mistake. I added the context path, guys. Okay, I added the context path. Yesterday we spoke about context path. I showed you guys that we are starting with the context path nothing, and I added here. Let's see. Okay, we are able to get. So what is context path, guys? Yesterday I remember I was speaking about context path as well. Can somebody tell me what is context path? I gave an example in the earlier applications when we are building and running on Tomcat server manually. So it will pick the name of the application itself. But here it's not picking. It won't pick until unless you provide the context path. Right? We discussed about this, right?
Yes, Harish.
Okay, cool. Now we can connect. Harish, login verified. You can test your flows here. So any questions on that, guys? So any questions on this architecture? Sorry, any questions on this pom.xml? Any questions on application.properties, whatever we configured? Or any questions on this web app, why I have to add web app folder? Because I believe I already explained. So by default, it won't think it as a web application. Spring Boot is basically meant for services. Okay. So that's why we had to create manually a web app, and we need to place our views there. And you need to include index.jsp because that's where it's going to land. It will consider by default there exists an index.jsp page whenever you create a web app. So any questions on that? Cool, no questions. Let's quickly create one more application, one more Spring Boot application, but this time let's do configure REST API. Let's create a REST API, simple REST API. Let me close everything. So can I close this project, guys? I mean, we don't have any questions on this project, right? Okay, silence means I'm taking it for granted that no questions. Spring IO starter initializer. Okay, I'm taking Maven, Java, this time 2.3.6. I'm not going to 2.4. And com dot, let's name it first application, first service. Let's go with that. First REST API. If you want, you can provide the description, package name. You can change the package name, but anyway, I'm going with the defaults. Generate. Here, I know in JPA, all I need is web, right? If you want, you can add developer tools. So for now, just consider it as a simple application which doesn't have any interaction with Spring, any interaction with database. Okay, just to see how we can create a web service. What are the annotations are involved in it? Just to give guys an example. For that purpose, I'm not interacting with any database, but I will show you how to interact with database. I guess I already showed you how to interact with the database, but anyway, I'll show you the better way of doing that. That means we will be using JPS, not right now. First, let's get started with our REST. Generating project. Okay, show all folder, Control X. Here. Okay, our first REST API it is here. Here again, same guys. Here, import existing Maven. Click next. In fact, you can use STS also, but I'm comfortable with Eclipse, so that's why I'm going in this way. But if you guys are comfortable with STS, please you can use that. Desktop, Spring Boot, projects, first API, finish. Okay, still loading. Again, let's have a quick look at form.xml. Yeah, it's taking time, guys. Give it some time. If you observe properly, I didn't add much. I just added web and developer tools. We'll talk about developer tools, not right now, when time comes. And test, by default, it comes with test. So we don't have to do anything. And there is a plugin, which we discussed already, just a Maven plugin. Now, let's go and create, again, one more time, we'll have a look at the application.java. There is nothing, it's just a main method and Spring application.run. So which means to run, that's all. Now let's quickly create one more package. So com dot first service dot first REST API dot, let's name it APIs. Okay, basically, even though we are using controllers, but it's a application programming interfaces, so with which a user or a machine or an application can communicate with us. That's why I'm naming it after API package. Most of the time, you guys may see it as a controller. It doesn't matter. No, let me add a new class. So let's name it first REST API. You can use controller, it doesn't matter, guys, again. But it is a symbolic way of telling it is an API. Right. Let's see what else. What are the other annotations which we can use? In fact, guys, if you remember properly, you can make it as a controller and you can do a request mapping. Still, it works as a web service, but we will do proper way. That's because we didn't configure any view resolvers. Remember, again, I'm telling it is opinion oriented. It is auto configurable. If you configure something only, it will do the other part. But we didn't initiate any kind of configuration. So by default, it will think it as a normal web API or normal web service. Right, now let's see. REST controller. It's taking time. So if you remember properly, we used @ controller symbol, right? Just to handle the appropriate mappings, the request mappings. Here, it is a symbolic way of representing this class as a controller, but to handle the REST requests. Okay, guys, any questions on that? It will also do the same thing exactly what we did earlier to resolve the mappings. Here also, it will do the same exact thing. So any questions on that? Cool. Now, here, I'm not doing, yeah, go ahead. Okay, no questions, cool. Here, I'm not going to do any interaction. I'll just show you a simple get method, okay? And I'll show you how it is going to respond, in what format. Let's see. For that, let's create a method. Let's say it is returning a string. And let's name it get my name. Okay. You can use @ get mapping, right? You can map name. That's all. Let's return Rish. And that's all, guys. You made your first REST API. Let's see how it works. I'm killing this application. Again, guys, if you are comfortable using Eclipse to run, you can run it, but I'm comfortable using here. I just wanted to show you guys how we will see the logs in a better way. In the if you get a chance to work on projects right after this course, you'll be working with black screen a lot, okay? Because we are all doing cloud native deployments and everything. So now quickly let's go to our project. That is first REST API. Again, you don't have to do anything, clean install, okay? Because we just created the project and it has been imported, so it will install everything. If you change any dependency, if you add any kind of dependency in pom.xml, then only you have to do mvn clean install. And in fact, your Eclipse will be auto configured. I mean, your Eclipse will take care of downloading and placing the jar files for you. You don't have to do clean install. Anyway, it's a better way of doing when we run with when we create test cases. So it will be really helpful instead of directly going for deployment. If there is any test case failures, that means it will tell there is a problem in your code. Okay, so that is a better way. Now let's see. Okay, quickly let's run. Okay, so complaining about 8080 port. Let's change that. So what did I tell about configuration regarding server port? Guys, regarding server, the server dot port. Anything regarding server has to start with server. And we can give any port, let's say 9980. Any questions on that? Right, let's do this again. Okay, now it started 9980. Right, not able to close that. Anyway, I'll use it. 80/my name. That's all. Right? We are seeing it in a browser. So that means we can consume our web services over a browser. Isn't it cool? We don't need any kind of application to do that. To verify our output. But again, guys, we can do that only for get methods. Again, get is to retrieve. So any questions on that? No questions? Let's see some other features of get again. How we can do that. Okay. Has anybody worked with the old way of creating REST applications? That means by using JAX RS, the Jersey API, other way called as Jersey API. Has anybody used that? Okay, that means nobody used it. I'll just give a brief introduction about that because there has been a lot of changes in Spring Boot. So let me go back to my browser. If you pause, oops, who is that? Has some questions? Okay, cool. Here, if
Yeah, Harish, what if I use the post mapping instead of the get? So this is only good practice, or we can use post also instead of the get?
that is a good question, guys. Right? See, there is no restriction that you have to use only get. It is just a way of doing. It's a best practice. Instead, in fact, you can use get to create some data also. Right? See, similar way, you can use post to retrieve some data also. We can do that. It is possible, but it is not legal. Nobody will accept that. So there is no restriction in code saying that, hey, your Spring Boot will not complain, saying that, hey, you have to use post for only creating data, but instead you are using for retrieving data. It won't complain. No framework will complain. Okay, we can do. It is doable, but it is not legitimate. It is not valid. So any questions on that? If you want, I can show you how to use post to get some data. When we come to
Yes, Harish,
post,
please.
I'll show you. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Where was I? Oh yeah, I was speaking about the parameters. Let's say, have you seen this kind of parameters by any chance? Like this, something like this. So this is not only for regarding the APIs, guys, regarding the services, regarding the web services. You might have seen this in web applications as well. If you observe properly the URL, right? Something like this. Again, has anybody seen that? If we use,
Yes, basically the
Yes.
get request we have to send.
yes. So if you have ever used JAX RS, these kind of parameters are called as query params. Okay, query parameters. But we don't have that concept in Spring Boot. Right. Let me show another way. Has anybody seen this kind by any chance? In fact, this is also achievable in our uh, web applications.
Yes.
This is
Path
called
variable.
path parameters. Okay,
Yeah.
path params. So we have path variables in Spring Boot. Right. There is another way that is called as form parameters. So we all work with forms, right? Form in the sense simple HTML form, right? I guess I showed you how to use form. So we can send those form parameters to our web service as well, which means in the form we can provide a web service endpoint and we can send it to a web service. Those called as form parameters. In fact, in our REST, if you develop using Spring Boot, we don't have that. That is again request parameter. So any questions on that, guys? Anyway, I'll show you in practical how we get these parameters and everything. But any questions on that? Cool. Let's not waste our time. Let's quickly go into our code and we'll do the changes to support these kind of parameters. So
Harish, you were telling about JAX RS and JAX WS.
yes,
So are we using this right now, or it is deprecated, or we can say it is old one?
okay, it is not deprecated, guys. If you see properly, some of the applications, they are still running on um, JAX RS. You will still see the
JAX RS means Jersey.
Jersey API, exactly. In fact,
Okay.
Spring Boot is not the only way to create web services, guys. There are multiple ways. Okay, one among that is Jersey API. It's very famous before Spring Boot, before the Spring. Okay, it was very famous. We used that. It's again a framework. It's again a framework. Whatever the annotations you are seeing here, like get mapping, the REST controller, they had different kind of mappings. Say for example, @path, @path. It was like that to get. Okay, and in the brackets you can configure saying that request method dot get to specify it is a get method. So there are ways, Jersey APIs you can use. You can find if
So the Jersey API were used in Java only, or it was language independent?
it was Java based.
Java based.
Yes.
And what is this JAX WRS or WS? I don't know what was the
Okay,
name.
JAX WRS. So I told you guys that is basically used to create SOAP based web services. If I remember properly, so I was speaking about WSDL. So
Yes.
right, that will be generated by using this JAX WS. Anyway, okay. So let me write down it for you guys. I guess I remember that I was using JAX WS. Okay, JAX WS. That is to create SOAP based services. Why do we need? It's a framework again. It's a framework. It comes with pre-built classes. Framework comes with predefined classes to generate. If you remember properly, we were speaking about the operations instead of methods in the Spring. In the SOAP, right, guys? And I spoke about WSDL as well. And I spoke about top-down approach and bottom-up approach, right? So those kind of functionalities will be provided by this framework. It is not that we cannot do it in Java. In fact, we can do it in Java. In fact, the framework itself is written in Java basically. So it has that features. It has classes only, but it is the best easier way. So generate generate WSDL and operations as well. Right? I spoke about top-down approach and bottom-up approach. Right, don't worry, guys. If you guys need to know about the Jersey way of implementing, if I get some time, I will show you guys. Okay, I can promise if I have some time, but it will not take more than like 15 to 20 minutes. I'll try to find some time and I'll show you guys how to do that. Is that fine?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and now let's get back to our discussion. We were at, sorry. Yeah, I was speaking about the different ways of getting the data. Right, let's quickly see this. Okay, if you specify like this, that means you are expecting a ID over there. Okay, now everything is fine. So which means my request handler will handle it to here. So my request will come here. But how can I retrieve this ID? Don't worry, Spring will provide a feature for that, a annotation for that. It is path variable. Right, see guys, there is javax.websocket server. We are not going to use that. So you are going to use the path variable. Okay, it is part of arg.springframework.web.bind. We are going to use all Spring based annotations. Right, that's all. I need to provide ID, and again I need a placeholder to store this, right? So it's of type, I'm expecting of type string, right? Let's say if you want string, you can specify string. If you want integer, you can specify integer. If you want long, you can do that. For our understanding, I'm specifying as a string. Okay, just ID, that's all. Now let's see if I can get the ID properly or not. Again guys, our understanding only, I'm writing system.out.println statements, right? So now let's see if my server, yeah, condition evaluation changed. That means I don't have to restart. Let's see. I still got the response. Okay, if you observe properly, it's not complaining, which means my mapping worked, my get mapping worked. Let's see. I got the response. Sorry, I got it printed. So any questions on that, guys? Right, no questions. Next concept. Instead, I'll write one more method for better understanding. I'm not going to touch that method. So let's, instead of ID here, I'll take that out. I don't want param ID here. So I was speaking about query params. That is a old way of implementation. Now I'm speaking about request parameters. Let's see. Request param. Okay, let's take again the same ID. I'm taking the string. Okay, this time let's take it long. Yeah, have any questions? Guys, you have any questions? Okay, no questions. Cool. Let's take that. I was at taking ID. Let's take it as long. Again, I'll name it ID. Okay. Let's print this as a long ID. Right. I can take multiple, guys. I can take multiple. Request param. Let's take a name of type string name. Let me print that name as well. Oops. Okay, I don't have to execute again because, oh, it's not loading this time. It didn't load. I may have to kill it and run it again. Or let's try if it executes. So I was speaking about this. ID equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 and name equal to Rish. It didn't load. I need to restart. So my okay, it started. Let me load this. See, which means my mapping got successful. You are seeing some response here. That means my mapping got successful. Now let's quickly see. We got here long. Right. Any questions on that, guys? No questions. That's fine. So next in our line. Okay. I can do a request headers. So how many of you guys are aware of headers? I'll quickly show you what exactly is headers, but before going to show what exactly is headers, I wanted you guys to know about a tool which we will be using to consume these services. So browser, we can only do get, right? We cannot do post, put, we cannot do that. So we will be using a specific tool for that. I'll show you quickly. So this is a Postman tool, which is provided by Google, I guess, Chrome. So you can download it from Google. Just type Postman. Okay, so it has this kind of UI, and you can build. These are called as collections. So for now, I didn't create any collection, but these are our this is how you're gonna consume. Let's say, for example, our HTTP colon localhost colon forgot the IP 9980 slash my name. Okay, and there is no mapping for that my name, so I need to go with a path 1 2 3 4. I'll send it. Oh, connection refused. 9980. Is it 9980? Why is it connection refused? Let me take that. Okay, send it. There is some issue with our app. It's not able to respond. It's not able to reach here. Instead of localhost, let me configure to 127.0.0.1. No. Let's see what is wrong. Is it running? No, it is not running. It's not running. Something happened to our server. Okay. Sorry guys, it's taking some time to kill. But anyway, I'll speak about this tool till it takes. Right. If you see here, there are something which we are passing. Okay. What are those things? These are called as headers or request headers. So why we need all these things? Okay, it depends on your implementation again, guys. Basically, these are information for the server from where it is getting getting the request. Even though we don't store, but it'll send. Okay, what kind of host it is and what kind of message it accepts and what kind of message can I accept as a client, and is there any security tokens? Okay, we can pass everything here. These called as headers. These called as header information. Right? So any question on that, guys? So no questions, because in some in very specific APIs, you will see that there will be a validation based on the headers as well. Then they accept some kind of headers which is specific to their application. If those headers are not available in the header section of any API, they will reject, saying that it's not a legitimate request. Okay, something like 417 syntactical error or something like that. Let's see what is wrong with this. Okay, now it started in 9980. Let's use the same thing. Oops, console. I don't want console. Okay, now we got it. Right, guys? So now let's see how to take these headers. We are getting some kind of headers right here. See, we are passing some kind of headers. Let's see how we can take, how can we can receive these headers in our requests. I want this. Okay. Again, for our better understanding, I'm going to write a new method. It's again get mapping, get request headers. Okay. At this point of time, I am not taking any kind of parameters. Either it can be path variable or it can be a request param. Okay, let's see. There is a special annotation, guys. Again, same. request headers. Request header. Okay, now if you want a single request header, okay, just like that you can specify. Let's see what are the headers which we are getting here. Let's say accept, or okay, let's be specific. Forget about these default headers. I'm going to pass my own header, username. You can pass your own headers, guys. There is no restriction on that. Right, I'll try to receive, oh sorry, that is username, string user name. Okay, this time, okay, instead of printing it, how about returning the same username whatever you're providing? Right, now let's see whether it loaded. There was an error. Request mapping, okay. Anyway, it was building when we are creating that mapping, so I guess it ran into error. So any questions on header concept which we discussed, guys, or any other doubts, or any other concepts like request parameter or path params? Okay, seems like there is a problem. Request handle defined in path, okay, cannot map first REST API method. And what is that? Bean method string map. Oh, am I using different name, same name without any parameters? I guess so. Yes, there is my name. So remember, guys, every request will have a header. Okay, so there is a duplicate, that's why it's complaining. Let's say after this, let me change it to check headers. Guys, I will speak about some rules when we really write this API in our truck management, how we have to form that URI. But for now, for understanding, just let's keep this way. Okay, now it started. You go here. I will call that. It will be better if I copy paste that. Check headers. Right. Let's do that. Did I mention Harish? Oh, my name again. You can change whatever you want, guys, here. Okay. And if you see, I was speaking about status codes. So 200. Okay. That means our request was successful. So any questions on that? No questions. Okay, you can ask, right? If you guys don't have questions, I have questions. First, you can ask me, or maybe I'm asking you, how can I get all these, right? See, right now I defined one, I know my header. Future, I don't know what kind of headers I'll get. How can I get everything without knowing the key value pair? See, header is a key, this is key, and this is value, guys, right? Whatever is on the right side is value, whatever is on the left side is key. So if I don't know key, how can I retrieve a header? Can somebody tell me if you guys know? Okay, I'm taking the silence as no, and I'm going to explain you guys. Here, there is a request header, right? We are retrieving based on key. Forget about key. Now I don't have key. In such scenario, string comma string. Okay, I'm considering everything as string. I don't know other parameters. HEADERS, headers. So it's of type map, Java util. Let's quickly headers dot get object of user name. I'm returning that, but anyway, let's print what and all we are getting here. headers dot for each. Let me make it clear for you guys. That is key value pair. So how many of you guys work with Java 8? So that is a lambda
Yes, Harish.
expression. That is lambda expression, guys. What I'm writing here.
Yes.
So I can print key plus value. Right. So let's see. It reloaded. Good. Now I'll change it to, for our better understanding, test, or let's say spring boot. So we have these many headers, right? Let's see. Now I got the response, spring boot, right? Let's see what and all we printed. See, whatever the headers we passed, guys. If you have a look at the headers again, it will be clear. Let me open that again. Here, host, user agent, accept, encoding, connection, username, everything is there. So any questions on that? No questions. Okay, let's take a quick break and we'll discuss about the response message format.
Harish, can you show the code for this?
Oh, the
Once?
code. Okay, the code.
Yeah, yeah.
Right over here.
So you are basically listing the headers, right?
That's all.
Okay.
All I wanted to show you, how can I get multiple headers, which I don't know. See, say for example, I don't know the key. Previously we saw how we can get headers based on keys, right? Now I don't know any key.
Yes.
So how can I get everything? So I can accept map. And again, guys, similarly for the request param, if there are 100 params, you don't have to get in this way. You can use map and it will get all the params for you. Okay?
Okay.
Cool. So any questions before we take some break time? Cool. No questions. Let's take a quick break and we'll be back in 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, I can't afford to give more than that, guys. I need to cover a lot. Thank you. Welcome back, guys. Can we start or do we need some more time? Excuse me. Do you guys need some more time or can we start? Cool. Thank you. Just
Yes, Mac.
back. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So let's get back to where we left over. Cool. Okay, guys. Is everybody clear with this concept of request headers, request param, path variable? If you guys are clear with that, then I will show you quickly how we can send a JSON format. Or different kinds of format, how we can do the messages in different format. Okay, for that purpose, let me take a simple bean. Okay, very simple bean.
Harish,
Yes, you have a question?
I don't know it is relevant or not,
Okay.
but while we were starting the project, I mean, we run the main application.
Okay.
Then we see the logs. In the logs above to the Tomcat is started on port 8080.
Yes.
Above to that line, it is different for you. Okay, that one, yeah. Live load server is running on port. What is this port number?
I will.
And what is this server?
Guys, this is a part of developer tools. I told you when time comes, we'll discuss it. Don't be in a hurry.
Okay. Okay, sure, no
Okay,
problem.
I told you this is a part of developer tools. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll discuss it.
Yeah, thank
There
you.
is a lot to cover. We'll discuss everything.
That's why I said like maybe it is irrelevant for now.
Yeah, we'll discuss. We'll discuss. Don't worry.
Okay, okay,
Okay,
thank you.
let's not get into there. Not yet. Okay, now let's see how we can send a response. Now, as of now, if you see properly, we are sending in the response of a string, right? Let's see how I can respond in the form of JSON. For that purpose, for our better understanding, creating a bean, that means Pojo class again. Dot beans. New class. Let's just name it employee class. Employee, that's all. I'm not going to name anything else. And my employee will have string name equal to Ish. That's the default name. Private string last last name equal to p. That's all. I'll have getters and setters. Where is my getters and setters? Source, generate getters and setters, select all. Okay. Source, generate. Oh, I already did that. My bad. Okay. A default constructor and a parameterized constructor. That's all we need. Right. Now, when I call for my name, let's go here. Let's discuss here. When I call for my name here, okay, let's do you guys, is it okay if I modify the existing methods, or do you guys want me to create a new method? Right, let me create a new method.
Create new, yeah.
Yeah, I will change this. But guys, the path should be same here for our understanding only. Again, for our understanding only. This is not a valid API. There are some specifications which I have to follow. I'll tell you guys when we go into our Truckfit application. But till then, it's just for our understanding to know what are the features we have and what, before going to implement, what we need to know. Just employee, get employee. Right? Let it print the headers. I don't care. Now I am going to return employee. Okay, employee. Right. So just let's get new employee. And that's all, guys. I didn't specify anything. If you want, you can specify something like this. If you don't specify anything, by default, it will consider it as a JSON. Okay. So producers equal to. For that, that's why there was an error. If we are using multiple parameters in the same get mapping, so you need to specify what exactly is that mean. For example, here value is employee. Producers, what it will produces. So basically, it produces media type. Media type. There are too many media types. So which you need to take is Spring only. Again, Spring only. Dot. So we're discussing about JSON. Let's go. There are too many application JSONs. Application JSON value. We're going to do this. Okay, guys. First, how many of you guys know what is JSON? Because we spoke about XML, that's why I'm not explaining about XML again. How many of you guys know about JSON?
Yes, Harish.
Only one person? Okay, let me explain in a simple words. JSON is JavaScript object notation. Let me open Notepad. JSON is JavaScript object notation. Okay, it was designed based on the JavaScript principles, guys. Again, it was designed based on the JavaScript principles. That's why it's called as JavaScript object notation, because of its lightweight and portability. So it has been used everywhere. It is being used everywhere. Okay, lightweight, easy to implement. It's easy to implement. No need of parsing. No need of including external jars and everything, right? And it's just a key value pair, guys. It is a key value pair. Okay, a JSON can have JSON arrays. For example, let's see a simple JSON format. So far we created an employee, right? We have name, that is a key, sorry, that is a key, and it has a value which assigned Harish, right? Now there was one more, last name. So which I assigned P. So a JSON something looks like this. Let's say if I want an array of JSON objects, how does it look like this? Okay, I hope you guys can see clearly now. Something like this. Spring Boot, sorry, Spring and Boot. I'll write in the. This is okay, Sharma. So this looks like this. Even inside an element, say for example, one more example, guys. Something like this is title. Let's say TITLE, TITLE, and it is Mr. Something like name. Inside that, this is a JSON inside JSON. You can have that. So this will come when, if you remember properly in our truck fleet management. So I declared a class, there was a hierarchy. So this comes under when we have inheritance. So like that, last name P, and whatever the keys. Okay, so this is completely valid. JSON, JavaScript object notation. So it is a message format which we will be communicating over HTTP. Okay, it doesn't matter, not only HTTP, even if you want to write over FTP also, put it in a file and transfer it, will go, it doesn't matter, right? So basically it is a lightweight. That's what I meant. It is lightweight, it is easily portable, and we don't need extra specific code to parse this into our Java objects. Okay, and we already discussed about XML. Anyway, I will show you guys how to respond to XML object as well. So any questions on this? Cool, no questions. Moving forward. Here I'm writing this. Okay, now let's see. I didn't build? Something wrong with me. This one. Okay, started. So let's consume our employee. Guys, if you observe this response properly, what is the format of the response? It is a JSON, right? Earlier we were seeing strings, and there are some headers associated with it. Content type, JSON, application JSON here. These are the response headers, guys. I'll speak about the response headers as well. So any questions on that? Okay. Now there is one important topic which you guys have to understand. Okay, let's speak about the topic. Right. So whenever I specify something like this, the employee or string, any kind of class, string is also class, right? Employee is also class, any kind of class, or a collection, let's say list of, even list is an interface, but in Java we name it like .java file, right? Even the interface. So that is considered to be a class. I mean, list of some classes, list of string, right? Those things will be converted into response body only. It is not the complete response, guys. Again, I'm repeating, it is not the complete response, it is just a body. What is meant by that? Right, let's go back here. We have so many other things here. We have headers, which is part of response, right? Which is part of HTTP response. And we have status, which is part of response, complete response. And there is a body. It's just a response body, whatever we are sending, that string message, right? You can ask me, hey, we are sending a response body only. What about the rest of the things? How can I control them? How can I send them? Right? Let's see how we can do that. Now, in the same class, instead of employee, let me send response entity. RESPONSE ENTITY. Again, guys, use org.springframework.http. Anything in the Spring. It is a generic, and I guess we discussed about generics already. Like that. Now, it won't accept this new employee. So how can I send a response entity? Let's see what and all it will have. Response entity equal to, right? I need to get a new response. I mean, like new entity response. For that, it's a class, right? New entity response. Why is not coming? Okay, response entity. My bad. It is response entity. So if you observe properly, there are multiple methods available here. Let's take the last one. Okay, let's take this one. So it accepts, if I highlighted, guys, it accepts our generic type of class, the class which we are trying to send, that is employee class, and it accepts a multi map of headers. Oh, it's not coming up. If you see, there is headers. I have control over my response headers as well, and I have control over my HTTP status as well, right? Let's implement that. So I'm going to send a new employee, Control C, that is my body. And what are my headers? Right, let's create HTTP headers. HEADERS, right? HEADERS, HTTP headers equal to new HTTP headers. That's how we're going to create headers, right? I can add anyone. It's a key value pair again, guys. It's a key value pair. So let's add HTTP headers dot set. What am I setting? Let's say I'm going to return content type of application.json. Content, capital C, hyphen type, application slash JSON. Okay, and I'm going to send that response headers, and I'm going to I want to return with sorry, I want to return a HTTP status code as well. Let's say HTTP status. That's the one. It's an enum. Okay, dot. I wanted to send just okay. That's all for now. If you want, you can send anything. Okay, What is the problem here? A constructor of type map comma headers is undefined. Change headers to multiple string. Okay, that's all, guys. Everything is good. Now let's execute this. Did it build? Yes, hopefully it worked. So let's see. Send. Now I got some more headers. Okay, I got my host back, whatever the headers, everything I got, whatever the headers I'm sending back. Any questions on that, guys? Now I have the control over my HTTP status code. If you want, earlier also, hey Sadish, it was returning only 200K. Okay, now how can I change that? Now I want my custom one. Let's say I don't want 200. Okay, now let's say I wanted to tell simply just for fun, not found. Again, it is not a good way. I just wanted to show you guys we can do that. That's all. There is nothing to be found because we are not actually searching anything here. Of course, we are retrieving employee data, but we have the employee data here. If you want, you can simply say, in case of an exception, let's say mine is generic, right? I'll put like this, and I'll just put like this. Here, I'll send my exception something like, let's say I want to send a string and my exception, whatever you want. Let's say not able to find employee record, like that. Okay, now let's execute that. 404 not found, like that. So any questions on that, guys? So no questions, because we will be using a response entity. That is the best way of returning, because we have control over all the parameters which we are going to deal with. Cool, no questions. Then we can quickly go to other implementations. For example, post. Let's see how we can quickly do a post. Okay, do you guys have any questions? Cool, no questions. Perfect. Guys, I'm not supposed to use the same again until unless if there is a requirement that that service will be serving both get and post requests. Okay, here our understanding again. I'm going to write over here. This time it's a post mapping. Okay, now you have the liberty to specify what kind of messages are you going to accept. Is it a string? Is it a application.xml? Sorry, yes, application.xml or application.json. For our understanding, again, let's go with application.json. Right. Value equal to same employee. I can give same mapping, and I can change the here. I'm using the same mapping, and I can change the type of the method. Right. So in our case, employee will accept. Oh, sorry, consumes, not accepts. Consumes. Similarly, we need to write media media. Okay, let me copy paste that. In fact, for JSON values, you don't have to give at all. It will automatically assumes that it is JSON. Okay, if you want, we can try that as well. Right, that's all. Now my method statement definition. So am I going to return a string, let's say success, or am I going to return anything? Again, I'm going to send a response object entity. HTTP. So that's a question mark. Okay, add employee. Now there is a return statement missing, that's why it's complaining. But before going to return statement, let's take This time I'm not dealing with any headers because we already saw that. But if you want how we can retrieve in post also, I can show that. For example, response headers, sorry, request headers. Request header, again the same thing, map of string comma string, so headers, that's of headers, comma. Now here is an important point, guys. You need to understand how I'm going to get the message from client. That means my request body, okay, it's like this. There is a special parameter, sorry, a special annotation to get that request body, and that's all. We need a placeholder, right? And we need what kind of message I'm getting. So for example, in our case, I'm going to get only employee data. Again, it depends on your requirements. So employee, cool. Now let's quickly see how I can process this. Okay, now I have everything in employee. All I can do is, let's say, sysout. Again, guys, I do not have any database, or I'm not doing any kind of operations, right? So that's why I'm just printing it to console. Okay, employee, employee dot get last name, first name, employee dot get name. That's all. Now I need to send a response header. Sorry, I need to send a response. Thing like this. Okay. Just like that. Response dot okay. Response entity dot okay. Sorry. Do you guys want a message or just empty body and just a code, HTTP code? Let's do only HTTP code. Okay. Right, like that. HTTP status dot. Basically, they are trying to create a new employee, right? So we need to send 201. 201 is created. CREATED. And that's all, guys. Now let's see how we can get this done in Postman. Same employee, right? Same employee. Let's send the body raw. I'm going to type the body here. Is there any way to copy old body? No. Okay. I was too lazy to type. That's why I was searching for all those things. Name spring, last name. Is it the same? Okay, it is boot. And that's all, guys. We'll send. I get our server is not running. I guess our server is not running. I'm trying to re-trigger it again. Okay, now it started. Let's send that. What happened? Oh, I'm using get again, guys. See that? I'm using get, but I'm supposed to use post. Okay, let's cancel that. Let's send it. Right, unsupported media type. What are we sending here? I'm sending as a raw text JSON. Perfect. Now, okay, this is a good learning. If you see that our our method is not handling wrong parameters, wrong data. So there is a support problem. Org.Spring Framework.HTTP media not supported exception. Content type text by plain. Earlier I selected text here. That is the reason. Now I need to send a JSON not supported. Right? So let's send JSON. 201 created. So any questions, guys? Which means everybody understood, right? Because we had a couple of problems. First I was using get, but I'm supposed to use post, and then I was using text message instead of sending it as a JSON. So now I changed it to JSON and we got the response 201. So clear on the concept? Guys, clear? Yes, no?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Cool, cool. Now if that is clear, then we can move forward. I was expected a question here actually, guys. Is it possible for me to get a path param just like this? Is it possible for me to get a path param here? Can somebody tell me? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. Okay. Yes, it is possible. All you have to do the same slash whatever ID. Again, you need to get that as path variable, right? Path variable, and you can use it. But remember, guys, in post, always we are going to create a new resource. So we don't have ability to provide the ID for that resource. So you can get it, but it is not recommended. Clear? So if no questions, I will move to put. What do you say, guys? How about put? Or do you guys still want to continue on post? Do you guys still want to understand something?
No, understood, Harish.
Okay, cool. Let's quickly go to put. Same thing, but instead it's put mapping. Again, guys, you have to use org.spring framework annotations only. Same employee, but this time put has to accept the ID. Okay, because we are replacing a resource on the server. We are changing the state of the resource in the server. So, but how can a server identify which resource based on this ID? Okay. Update employee @ path param. Oh, sorry, not path param, path variable. Let me get that down here for a better view. I'll send you the ID here. Let's take that ID into a long ID. And now it's our time to print the ID as well. ID. Right. Instead of created, it's updated. Do you have something called updated? Upgrade required, unsupported, no. So basically no content. Or in some cases, they will respond the same employee object again. Okay. Again, guys, that depends on your business needs. Here, the response codes are always depends on your business needs. Okay. Now let's quickly execute this. So put mapping, and I'm expecting JSON, and my employee ID is 1234. Again, I'm sending the same 400 bad request. Oh, I sent a I. Okay, again, our method are not able to process a string since I'm expecting long. Failed to convert value of type java.lang.string to required type java.lang.long. Okay, so if you specify string, you have to send string. If you specify long, you have to send long. Okay, now 204. This is what we responded, right? So any questions on that, guys? No questions? So one more information, you don't have to send response entity again. It's up to you. If you want to send a employee object, you can send that, but I always prefer using response entity because it is a better way of doing the things, because you have the full control of the response, including the body, headers, and the status code as well. So any questions, guys? Right, now let's go to delete. There is patch. We'll speak about that patch as well. Right, let's talk about patch mapping. It's better if I copy paste. Right, so again, it's patch an employee, patch employee. Here it again depends, guys. We are not supposed to get entire employee object, but if your business demands, we can do that. Okay, I always prefer not to get the entire object because we are just patching a little bit of the content. We are not replacing the entire content or entire resource on the server, right? It's just a change in the name or something like that. For that purpose, we will be using, if we send it as a form or request params, request param map of, oh, it's a map, capital M, map of string comma string, and it is, let's say, to be updated. Okay, there is no employee now. Let's say I'm getting ID to be updated to string. Okay, so here is the thing, guys. Since you can take form parameters as this as a request param as well, you can do that, but here I'm going to use a simple query params again for our understanding. Anyway, we will be implementing this put method in our truck for better understanding purpose, like what is the exact difference between, oh, I used to put mapping here, patch, difference between patch and put. Okay, employee patch request params, like that. So you can include the parameters here or here, anyway it will come there. I'm going to update name to Harish for 1 2 3 4, and it is a patch. 204 no content because I responded with the same. You can see the console name Harish, employee 2, 1 2 3 4. So any questions, guys? If you guys think I'm going too fast, please let me know. I will slow down a little bit, but I just wanted to know that whether you guys are able to catch up or not, whether you guys are in a position to understand everything what we spoke, or is there any communication gap? So any questions?
I think everyone will have the better understanding while we are having with the DB communication, I think.
Yeah, I will show anyway. We'll be going there in next 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Once I'm done with the delete.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's go to delete quickly. How can I use a delete method? Delete. So I'm deleting employee again. Value equal to employee slash id. It's just a delete statement, guys. Delete, delete, delete an employee. If you want, you can get request headers for authentication authorization purpose, but for our just leave it as it is because I'm copy pasting the same thing. I don't have any request params here. Okay, there is no request param, so there will be only one ID, and I'll be sending content 204. Basically, you can send once you are done with your operation. That means the resource is not anymore available in the server, so no content. That is a perfectly valid status code here. Let's do that. So delete. I guess some issue with our server. It's not running. Didn't load. Okay, delete. 204, no content. That's what we sent. So any questions on any of the concepts which we discussed before we start the implementation of our truck fleet management application? So no questions, guys. Okay, cool. That's good. So I'm killing this server. We don't need that. Going back to our truck fleet management. Maintenance, and that's where we are. Okay. Close all. Truck fleet maintenance. So as per the SOA architecture, we are not going to change any of the code, but instead we are going to introduce some functionality to retrieve the data. Right. Let's check our service layer first, because that is where the we are calling the DAO object and the communication is happening from here. But if you observe properly, I am returning my model and view here, right? So there is a tightly coupled nature. So we cannot use this. For our understanding purpose, I'm going to write a new service again, just only for that. Okay, but this time let's make it as loosely coupled as possible. Okay, if there is any validation, instead of using the normal method, please create a private method and call that validation. Now let's see that. Okay, I have truck details, I have my controller. First I need a API layer. That is, let's name it com.truck.api. Somebody will name it as web, somebody will name it API, somebody will go with controller. Again, that depends on the coding standards which was set by your employer. New class, let's say. Now let's quickly implement a search API to search our truck database. Okay, search API. Right, finish. As per our understanding, we need @rest controller annotation to make sure this act as a REST API, right? To handle the REST API requests and responses. For that purpose, I'll be using REST controller. Now, since I specified it as a search API, so let's make that proper. Let's differentiate our APIs. Okay, request mapping, and that is search. Guys, any questions on that? Because instead of writing this request mapping on top of a method, I am writing it on top of a class. So do you guys have any questions on that? Why I wrote there? Or do you guys know that already? This is completely valid, guys. You can write that.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Basically, it is. Yeah, it is segregating the controllers. Like it will be the root mapping of this API.
Perfect. That's it.
It will be applicable.
What I was going to explain.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you. So basically, if you write something like this, so whenever you are trying to call this API, you need to use search, and after that, let's say there are 10 methods here. 10 methods here. All the methods should have will be having this as the prefix first, and then the method annotation, whatever we are using the request mapping for that method. Okay, let's see that what I mean by that. First, I need a method, so I'm going to implement get mapping, right? So value, let's make it proper value. So let's say I want to get a truck, right? This is a way you're going to represent, guys. Whenever you are going to write an URI, your URI format should be, our endpoint format should be always first where it has to start from. What is the type of the communication? Is it or HTTP, HTTPS? Then domain name. Then comes the name of the service. Then comes the resource name. For us, resource is truck. Okay, clear with that? Now I want to find a truck based on my path variable. Oh, yep. Yep, that's good. But I'm going to name that as a method. Here, ID. And instead of ID, because if you observe our database properly, guys, there is no ID in our databases. If you go here, let me open that for you. It's been a while. You guys might have forgot. Here, there is no ID. Our unique number is license, right? So that's why I'm going to get that as path parameter. Truck details. Okay. License. Truck LICNSE. Truck license. That's my path variable, and it produces. Oh, spelling mistake. Produces. So media type dot. Is there a spelling mistake? Okay, let me copy paste that. Now let's name it public public get. Okay, what am I going to return? See, truck license is a unique identifier. That means I'll get only one truck, right? Here I'm going to return our Pojo classes. What do I have here for truck? That is truck details, right? So get truck by license. Now I need to get the parameter. So add this path variable. So the same key, whatever I'm giving here, I need to provide that key. Okay, so it's of type string, guys. So I'm going to take string truck variable, right? Now I need to import that. cancel. Let's import that. Good. Now, do I have a appropriate service layer where I can get the details from? No, I don't have one. Let's create here. Let's name it search service, or basically API service. We will be using the same service for all the services. Okay, same service layer for all the services. Service. Right. That is component. In fact, you can make it as a service, guys. There is one more stereotype annotation. So what it will do, it will also do the same exact thing what our service did earlier, which we annotated with component, which means it is going to create IOC. It is going to create a bean in IOC, right? And it will act as a service. But here at the red service, it is more a symbolic representation to IOC to act this as a service layer, which means Spring service layer, not the web services layer. Again, Spring service layer. Okay. So let's use here. I have my database in DAO, right? I need to auto-wire I truck DAO. Truck DAO. I need to auto-wire that. Let's write public. So I'm going to return a truck details. Get truck details by license. LICNSE or CE. I don't know what is that. It is going to take a parameter of type string, and it is license. Right. Let's see if our DAO has that capacity. Is there any method which we wrote to get add truck display all retrieve we need based on username? So now I don't want that. Okay, let's quickly create that. Get truck details. Okay, instead let's accept one more parameter, which is username. Let's reuse the same method, because I promised you I'll be showing you the reusability of the same method, right? So we'll do that, and we'll go for a new functionality later point of time. Okay, if that makes sense for everybody, guys. So, but is my functionality ready? Let's see that. Username. Get at that point of time I need to change all my names. Okay, get truck by license and username. Okay, get truck by license and username. I have to change the method name in my controller as well. Oh, truck DAO, there is already one method. Truck DAO dot get. Why is it coming as get? Let's take that. Truck DAO dot retrieve. We'll call that. Okay, before returning, do I have to do anything here? That's up to you guys. So let's say it is returning a list of truck information, but I am expecting only one truck, right? So we need to change our pattern. So maybe we can get multiple trucks. For that purpose, let's go for a list again. List of truck details again. Right. Now, for now alone, I'm just going to return everything. Okay, search API. Here, I need to specify I will be returning truck details, a list of truck details. Again, guys, we need to use response entity, but for our understanding, I am going to return a list of truck, and I'll change the same method for in a better way so that we will respond as response entity. Okay. Now here I need to get at the rate request headers, because I'm going to accept username from the request headers. Request header map. I'm going to get map of values, comma, sorry, map of string, comma, string, because I don't know what kind you are going to send, so I'm assuming everything a string, right? That is headers. Now all I have to do is, again guys, I'm not doing any kind of validation here. We will do the validation later point of time. For now, let's understand how it works with the database, right? So I'm going to create AutoWire here, AutoWire object. So AutoWire, so my service is API service, API service, and API service. There is some issue with API service. Let's see what is that issue. For now, again, get truck details, license ID. So headers, I'm not verifying not null condition or anything. Get user name. So I'll be getting truck license here, and I will be getting a list of truck details. Okay, let's see what is the problem. Type mismatch expected. Okay, we are going to get user information along with the truck information, guys. I have been changing this API, my bad, I'm really sorry. Let's quickly change that. Truck user information. So it is coming along with the truck and user information. There is a class. I've been changing this. I should have done that. Sorry. Okay, now return the list. Let's import that. Okay, now my API is ready. Let's go to our command line and run. Okay, Spring Boot. Right. So it started in 8887, and there is a base path, truck management. So I have to use that. Truck maintenance, edit, copy. So here, and that is my 8887, right? In the headers, I'll be sending username. KRISH. Let's take one of the existing value. Let's take this. Copy. I'll be sending it as a path parent. And it's not a delete, it is a get. Okay, let's quickly see that. 404 not found. Why is that? Okay, let's debug this, guys. Why we are not able to see. So get truck maintenance. Yes, the method is not available. I had to include, guys, remember, I had to include search on my truck, right? That is an endpoint. I'm missing those parameters there. Search and then truck and then this. No, I don't have any. Why is that? What is the problem? Anyway, my request was successful. Let's try to debug that. Why we are not able to get anything. Truck license. Let's print truck license. And headers.
Sorry to interrupt, Harish.
Go ahead.
Truck license will be unique, right? So why we are returning the list of the truck license?
Because somehow we implemented wrong method there. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah, I should have figured it earlier, but I have implemented wrong method. Let's see what is the issue first. Why we are not able to
Sure.
get the responses. Later point of time, we'll rectify the query as well. Okay. Get user name. Okay, from here to, let's go to implementation. Let's go to implementation. I'll be using truck DAO. Oops, it's not truck DAO. That is a reason. I'll be using truck DAO. Where is my search API? Ah, crap. Truck DAO, perfect name. So retrieve DAO MPL. Okay, let's check the query now. Based on your comment, we are not verifying based on the truck ID here. We forgot the uncondition. To string, that's all. Okay, it's loading, it's loading, it's loading, unchanged. That is good. Now let's send that 200. Okay, I'm getting empty. Oh, Harish, yes, that's a wrong, guys. We are not sending the appropriate name. Okay, headers Harish, that's the name of the person. Why is it taking so much time? Okay, let's quickly restart the server and we'll test again. It came now. Okay. Okay. Now we have a bunch of details. And remember, guys, I was speaking about the hierarchy of JSON data, nested JSONs. See, this is considered as a JSON. Inside that, I have truck details, and the truck details I'm sending in this way. And up on top of that, I have a username, right? These together form a class, and that is coming as a JSON. So, any questions, guys? I did not change any code, right? All I did is implemented one more layer, and that's all. So, are we clear with get? Yes, no?
Yes, Manish, clear.
Yes,
Cool.
yes.
So now, if you guys want, I can fix that query. For some reason, we implemented that query without using the and parameter here. All you have to do is to get and where is our truck license? Something like this. Question mark, and you have to pass this truck license as well. And that's all. Now we will get a unique records instead of list, but I need to change that to single record here. Still it accepts because it's a query, right? Still it works. Right. Any questions on that, guys? So it's done. Now let's try to uniquely identify a truck and just get only truck details, right? By using one more get method. I'll go here and I'll write one more get mapping. This time I will be getting path variable. I don't I'll take headers still, but get truck by license. Okay, this is a license and user name, appropriate naming convention, right? But I cannot write like this. Both are accepting the same amount of parameters. Headers will be there for both the parameters, right? I need to come up with another way of doing the search. Either I should have gone for a request param or a query param. Now let's go for the query params. Let's take that out. Instead of path variable, let's go for the query params. Again, remember guys, query params is after question mark, right? Here in Spring Boot, we call it as request parameters. Right, same truck license. Instead, I will be getting truck details. Truck details. Truck details. So that is a single object because I'm uniquely identifying the truck. Truck details. Let's rewrite this. Return truck details. Here, let's write one more method in our API. API service dot get truck details by license. License, no ID, license. That's all. Now I will pass a license here. That is a string. Copy paste that truck license. Okay. Now let's implement that method. I'm going to return a single truck, not multiple. Let's implement that method. Create a method. It's going to create for me. Let's say, in our case, I just wanted to get a single truck, right? Truck DAO.retrieve. Instead of retrieve, I'll be writing one more method. Get by license, and my license is truck license. Okay, we don't have that method. We need to implement that method. So create a method in truck, right? And there is a problem with the DAO. Let's implement that method. Add unimplemented methods. Right. Guys, we didn't go to JPA here, so we are still using the legacy way of doing that, because once we start JPA, I will show you the better way of doing all these things. Still, for now, let's follow the same way. Just copy pasting here, truck details, where truck license equal to question mark. That's my query. Guys, this we know, we already discussed, so that's why I'm not explaining this again. All I'm doing is trying to get a list, a truck details object, truck details, and we'll write for query for object. So we need object parameters because it's a prepared statement, right? Let's get the truck details here. And that's all. I'll be returning truck details. So I need to pass parameters, guys. It's a prepared statement. So let's execute that. Next, I'll show you how to do a simple validation after executing this. Now, what is my API? Just truck. Is it up and running? Yeah, hope it will work. Just truck, and I will be passing this as my need that locations to copy paste. So let me get my parameter. What is the name I'm using here? I'm using truck license, like that. So like that. Let's get that. Okay. See guys, we got only single truck. So any questions on that? Okay. Now let's change. In case I'm not doing any kind of validation, in case I'm not able to find my truck. So at that point of time, I have to return 404 exception, not found. See, let's see how we can do that. Guys, I will be refactoring the same code. I'm not writing any new code because I already discussed about the response entity and everything else, right? So let's do that. I'll be then sending a response entity, ENTITY, and that's a question mark. Okay, truck details. In case if my truck details are null, but is empty or optional of nullable, OPTIONAL dot of nullable the value dot is present. Okay, I will be initializing response entity question mark response ENTITY equal to null. My response entity I'm initializing here, guys. Once it is successful, it will be new response entity, RESPONSE entity. So it's of type employee, sorry, it's of type truck details, right? And it will take truck details, comma, status code, http status dot okay, right? That is fine. In case if it is null, I'm not able to find anything, it is empty, right? The same, but instead of this truck, write it as a string and specify not found. You don't have to do that. If you return status code alone, that should be that will do, because that's why we have the status codes not found. I'm just showing you we can do this way as well. So now I need to return this response entity, right? You don't have to specify again not found. If it is not, we cannot find anything in the database, that is called as not found, 404. For that, we already saw how I can return just status code, right? Now let's execute this. But before that, let me check my server. It's up and running. So well, I'll change it something to like this. Oh, there is some issue with the empty result set exception. So our exception was not so great in the database side. Let's quickly fix that. Let's quickly fix that. Truck DOYMPL. If you see that I haven't did any kind of exception here. So I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to return null. Try catch block. I'm catching, but I'm printing it to console for my better understanding. For now itself, again, if you have loggers, you will be logging them. Okay, and now I'm by default, if I'm not able to get anything, I'll return null. So let's check if I'm returning properly here. So I'm handling the null condition here. Optional of nullable is present only. I'm doing perfect. Now let's quickly do that again. Not found. Okay, guys. So any question on that? Guys, any question? Oh, there is questions. Any questions? Or is any comments? Better way of doing anything?
No, Harish. It's
Cool.
good.
So can we do a quick post? What do you say? Guys need some time? Okay, let's break. Let's take a break for 10 minutes, not more than that. And let's quickly see post after that. Okay, thank you. Can we start the session? Okay. 2, 3, 4. How about others? Five. Six. Okay, sounds good. Now the plan is to implement. Okay, there is one more. 7. Cool. Okay, guys, a little bit background again. Now the plan is to implement a post method to create a truck details, to insert truck details. That means to create a truck in our database. Okay, the thing is here, I'm not going to do that work. I want you guys to guide me what to do, because I already told you what exactly is a post method and how it works. Is that cool? So I want you guys to turn on your mics and please start guiding me. Forget about it. It's okay. Now, where do you guys want me to start? Is it a search service, guys? Is it a search service or is it a different service? And what is the action which we are going to do?
Sorry, you're asking about searching or adding the details?
No. I'm asking, see, I told already the functionality. We are going to create a new resource, that is our truck resource, right? We are going to add truck details into our database. Now, my question is simple. Is it a search service? Can we do it in the search service? Because I told you, we have to come up with an appropriate name for each kind of service based
No, we can,
on functionality.
yeah. We can create a new service, I think.
Okay, let's do that. Looks like there is an issue in our DAO. Right over here, add unimplemented methods. That's okay. Right. What can I name it? Based on the functionality, guys.
Truck details service, we can say.
Okay. Truck details. Truck details. That's good. Right. Now, what do I need here?
Okay. Now we have two classes with the same name but different packages.
That's okay. It's a beans. There is no naming conflict, guys. Don't worry.
Okay. Now we can use the @ service here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, annotation.
And one more thing. What did I tell?
Yeah.
There's something as per your needs. You need to go for the naming convention. It's truck details. Okay. What is it?
API. Yes.
So we forgot that. So let's refactor that. Rename. It's an API. Next, refactor everywhere. Finish. So what to do next? What is my primary objective here? How can I make it as a service? How can I make it as a
@ service?
no, as a REST service? That's why. How can I make
Oh,
it?
@ REST controller.
Perfect. REST controller. Right. Now, what next?
And now we can give the route mapping as well.
Okay.
If we want.
We'll do the route mapping here.
Yes.
Take that as
Request mapping.
request mapping. Perfect. What can I do? Can I
Truck detail API? Yeah, truck API or something
no,
like that.
truck API is the name of the API. Again, guys, I'm going to represent a truck here and slash add or functionalities, whatever I want based on the functionalities here. The resource is truck, right? And we already named our API after the truck implementation. Again, remember this first HTTP transfer protocol, next domain name, next functionality of the service which I'm going to do. What am I going to do here? But I cannot specify saying like create, insert, delete. No, I cannot use those. Those are the synonyms for
Yes.
the actual functionalities. So we cannot use those names here. What can I do? Can I
We can do
truck?
simply truck. Yes.
Okay, if I specify truck right now, what am I going to specify after that? Truck add, something like that.
Details.
Now I can specify truck details. Okay, let's specify truck, everything small letter, guys. Truck details. Now, what is my next step? Anybody else apart from Shahan Ahmad
First,
or Akshay or Diksha? Apart from these three guys, anybody else? What is my next step? Right? I'll do the hard way. How about Manish? Hey Manish, are you here with us? I guess he's not there. Okay, that's fine. Let's find another person. How about Ramal? Sorry, Ramlal, my bad. How about Ramlal Patel?
Yes, Harish.
So what is my next step here? What do I need to do? Guys, these are the concepts which we have been speaking from Spring. Okay. Now I need a mapping, right? I need a mapping to process truck details.
Yes, we need to create a request
Mapping, but it's
method.
request mapping.
Yes,
What kind of action I am doing here? It's a post.
we need to add.
It's a post. I'm going to add. Add means post, right?
Yes,
And what is my mapping? What am I doing? I'm going to add a truck. That's my resource. That's a physical entity, right? That's a physical entity. Now, will I take from our previous discussion, do I need to take any path variables, or do I need to specify what kind of request I am going to accept? Right, let's do that. So it's accepts, not produces. I'll do this same way here. Produces, sorry, consumes. Right, guys, I'm missing key value pair here. That's why I'm not able to get that consumes. Next, can you please tell me an appropriate name? Ramlal Patel, can you please tell me an appropriate name for my method?
add truck details.
Okay, add truck. Okay, add truck. Makes
Yes.
sense? Perfect. Now, what am I going to return? Tell me my return statement.
Truck
I
detail.
told you we are going to use
Response entity.
entity. Perfect. Perfect. That's what I was expecting. Response entity. Okay, just leave a question mark. Now, do I need to take any kind of parameters? In post, guys, what did I tell you? I need to get the truck details as a request body parameter, right? Right?
Yes, right.
Yes,
Perfect.
yes, yes.
So what is my details here? It's request param, and I'm going to get, guys, again, you have to follow our DB conventions as well. So I cannot just add truck details because there is a table which is dependent on truck details, right? I need to populate the user truck detail information. So I am going to get the truck user information. Okay. Any questions on that, guys? Any questions on why I took this truck user information? Right. Now I'm going to return null just to avoid that error. Now, next, what is next? What am I going to do here? Okay. Now let's pick another participant. Okay. How about Shirisha this time? Hi Shirisha, are you with us? No, yes. Okay, if you guys want, I can show you the first way of implementation, then we can do the second one together. Okay, if you guys are comfortable in that way. I can do that. Cool. Let's proceed in that way. Okay, now I need to get my service layer object here. API service. So API CR VICE. Right. Now I need to create a method in my API service to handle this kind of request, right? So let's go to API service and create a method. Public. So I'm going to return an integer based on my addition, whether it got added or not. So let's name it add truck, right? So what am I going to take as parameters? It is truck user information, truck user information. Now let's check if our DAO object has capability to do the same thing for us, right? We have it here, guys. We have it here. No, but it's taking truck details and username, right? Now if you explore the truck user information, right? I have truck details and I have username. Can I take truck details and username from this object which I'm going to get and send it to my DAO? Is it possible?
Yes, we can access that.
It is possible.
Yeah, truck details dot like this.
That's all. Now it will see what it's going to return. It is going to return int, right? Return int. Perfect. And let's go back to our API where we started. I don't want this search. Now it is truck. It is our API right over here. I will just simply call dot add truck, right? So based on the information, I'm going to get int I value. Simply if else condition. If I equal to 0 or I equal to 1 based on my return statements. For that I need to go and check it here what I'm going to return in my IMPL. So add truck, add truck, add truck. So I'm going to return my read count. Okay, I'm going to return my add read count. So that's just one. Now it's our time to declare response entity. Okay, so now response entity equal to new response entity. So let's check. All I need is whether it is inserted or not, right? So I'm going to return http status dot 201. 201 is created, right? Else my response entity will be can I specify? I need to do more validation, guys. So I didn't add any valid here. We will do that in the next class. Okay, I'll show you how I can use the inbuilt valid function. For now, I can specify internal server error. So that is internal. We cannot guarantee it is internal server error. There will be some syntax errors as well. So for that purpose, we need to do proper validation. I'll show you, excuse me, I'll show you how to do that. But for now, concentrate on the functionality and understanding the post mappings. Okay. Return response entity. Perfect. Do I need to do anything else, guys? Do I need to play with headers? If required, yes. That is again based on your user requirements. Okay. Here, I don't need to do anything else. So that's all. Let's see. Is my server capable of running? Yes, it is. Okay. Now it is truck maintenance. Truck details and I'm going to add a truck, and I need a body, but this time, can somebody construct a body for me? Okay, I'll show you the easiest way in this case only, but basically you have to generate the documentation. Okay, we'll speak about that when I get there. We'll speak about the documentation. Remember guys, that is the first principle in SOA, contract, right? Contract, we'll speak about that, but for now I'll give you the simple way. Okay, let's get that. No, truck, not that way. It is search truck. I can find that. Let's find the appropriate value. Copy, send. Okay, now we can use this as our body response request body, guys. We can use this as our request body. A post mapping. Now it's not search, it is truckDetails, truck details, truck. That's all. So my body raw, I will paste here. I used the wrong paste. But guys, one more question here. I am accepting, okay, a truck user information. That means I need to provide user information here, right? So my JSON is not legitimate. I need to get appropriate thing. I guess this will do. Like that. This is legitimate. Copy, delete here, but I cannot insert as it is because there is a primary key, foreign key violations. Let's do a little bit of changes. Win number changes to SA RGF 346. License plate changes to TN 06 or 08 4957. It changes to sport. Be Harish, maintenance true, perfect. Harish, good. Now, do I need anything else? Guys, do I need anything else? Am I validating anything else? No. Let's send this and quickly let's see the response. 415, unsupported media type. Perfect. I forgot. I need to change it to JSON. Now, let's send it again. Bad request. Missing request parameter exception. Okay. What kind of parameter did we use? What kind of parameter did we use? Oh, wrong guys. This is wrong. We need to use request body. Okay. How did we miss this? We need to use request body. Good learnings anyway. So let's send this again. 201 created. Cool guys. Any questions on that? Any questions? Any concerns?
No, clear.
Okay, now quickly, I will give 2 assignments. Basically, I want you guys to implement a patch. Okay, I'll be doing delete here just to show you. If you have any questions, we'll discuss about patch in detail. At the same time, I want you guys to implement put as well. Why I'm giving this? I want you guys to understand the differences. If you're not able to achieve that, I'm more than happy to explain. Okay, but I want you guys to handle these kind of scenarios, and I want you guys to practice over weekend. Now let's simply do a delete. Right, for that Can somebody guide me? Can somebody guide me?
Yes, Harish.
Thank you. Right. Can I use the existing service?
Yes, we can use.
Okay, let's go for that. Oops. Here.
Let's have the @delete mapping.
Perfect. Delete mapping. Do I need to specify accepts or do I need to specify request parameters?
Yes, request parameter will be truck license, I think, and this path will be truck only, I think.
No.
Yeah, we can.
What is my action? Remove, right? Delete, remove.
Yeah, remove.
That is my action. I need to pass like this.
Okay.
And it is truck license. Again, guys, it depends on you on what parameter you are going to query your database to fetch the details and remove it. Okay? It depends on you again. Now, for this purpose, I will be
Okay, what will be the best? Best practice to deleting?
Find based on the index.
Based on the index. What is this index?
Okay. Unfortunately, we didn't get that time to cover. I'll cover what is index, but let's implement this. We have some time, right? In the 15 minutes, I'll cover what is index. Right.
Okay, sure.
Public. Yeah, I need somebody to guide me.
Yeah, we can give void or response entity as well.
We need
with the no content.
If I give void, I don't know what operation. I mean, like, see, the friend user, the person, it can be application. We need to communicate. Remember, guys, I told this is a synchronous communication. I need always to respond. If I'm being silent, which means I'm not returning anything. That means if I'm using void, so the end person, the other person, don't know what is happening, right? We need to inform him. It can be a PC, I mean, it can be application, it can be a human being, anybody. We need to inform him. This is a synchronous communication. Remember, again, synchronous communication, you need to inform him because they will be waiting for your response. Right. I need to return response entity. Next.
Okay, delete truck.
I told you, do not use those words. These are the curd representations. Remove alternative word.
Okay.
Remove truck.
Remove truck.
I need to go with camel case, guys. It has two words. Okay. Now, what do I need?
We can use @path variable.
Path variable. Let's see. Yes.
Then truck license.
Truck license. Right.
It is the string.
Perfect.
We can hold in the string.
String. Yes, that's a good one. Next, please. What else?
We can use the API service to remove the truck.
So perfect. I'll go and create method here.
Yeah.
Public. So if I remove, what will I get? Will I get integer count? What will I get?
Integer only.
Integer.
Like updated rows, number of rows updated.
Exactly. So remove truck. I'm going to create that. So I'm going to pass a license, right? Truck license. I gave this as an assignment to you guys, so I didn't implement that in my PC. But anyway, I will implement right now. I am guessing everybody implemented that functionality.
Yes.
Truck DAO dot remove truck. Here you can remove in multiple ways, guys. So we need to specify on what parameter, on what column we are removing. Okay. Remove truck by
license.
LICNSE. Pardon my spellings if I'm typing wrong. Right. Create method. So I need to implement in two places now. Because this I didn't delete it. Anyway, I'll delete it right now.
Yeah, we can delete it. Yeah.
Because I just wanted to show you guys how the primary and how our qualifier works. That's why I created this one.
Yes, yes.
Okay, now I need to implement this. Add unimplemented methods. Perfect. Right. Sometimes I may not be able to find, right? First write the query. String SQL equal to can somebody tell me the statements?
Yeah, delete from truck details where truck license is equals to question mark.
Truck license equal to question mark. Guys, if you remember properly, I didn't write on cascade for the other dependency.
Yes, yes.
Right? Normally,
Yeah.
in general, okay, when you are designing DB, you will specify all those conditions. You have to specify all those conditions. Right now, I didn't specify.
So we have to remove that too also.
Yeah. Let's name properly. This is truck removal, and this is going to be user truck removal. delete from my table name. Let me find it out. User truck master.
Truck master, yes.
Where truck underscore license equal to question mark. That's all. So let's implement these two methods. Int count equal to JDBC template.
We need the object params.
What is that? Sorry, what was it?
We need that object params, right?
Oh, yep.
For setting that.
Thanks. I forgot that.
Yeah.
Yep, perfect. Now, can somebody tell me what is the query I need to use here?
It will be update.
Oh,
here.
it will be update. Okay. So first, I'll be passing truck removal. Come on. I'll be passing params. That's all. Again, I'll be taking this. I'll be taking this. I'll be passing this. User removal. And I'll be counting it. I need to increment both, right?
Yes.
I need to remove both. I missed my flow somewhere. Count plus equal to. I hope you guys know this operator.
Yeah.
Perfect. Count. In case if I'm missing something, I promised I'll be showing you the transaction management. I'll show you in JPA. Right. Run as, sorry, where is that? So surround with try catch block. Or maybe we can see the transaction management later if we have time. In this way also, in JDBC also. Now I will initialize it to count equal to 0. Let's quickly come here. So I'll be using all these details. Dot remove truck license. Get int count equal to same if else condition with response entity. If count equal to 2, so it is no content.
No content. Yes.
No content. Right. Again, I don't know what is exception, so that's why I'm keeping internal server error, but you need to do a proper exception handling. We'll see that. And that's all. Now, is everything all right? Do I need to do anything else here?
No, I think it's proper.
Perfect. Let's see our server status. Yeah, it's good. I need to remove this. So I will go, I'll use truck details and remove, and I'll be taking the truck license which we just used. Okay, right, it's not post, it is delete. Do I need to send anything else here? It's none. Okay, sometimes guys, if you are working on some legacy applications or the code which is written strictly, okay, if you by any chance select this, that means there is a chance that is even delete statement might be accepting some parameters. Please don't do that. Okay,
Okay.
sometimes we don't know how people implemented it. So for this, let's quickly finish it up. Sending 500 internal server error, something went wrong. On delete action, perfect. Here is a thing which you need to observe, guys. First,
I think first we need to delete the user, then.
Exactly. First, we need to always remove the dependencies. Then you can go for the main one. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Do that again. Perfect. Now I can't find both. Again, it will come find 204. Perfect. Cool, guys. Any questions on that? Okay. So if you guys don't have any questions, I will stop this session here. And as I promised, I'll be explaining about index. If you guys are really interested to know what is index and why we need that. And after that, we have some time. We'll see. Whatever I promised, I'll try to deliver. So any questions, guys, so far, whatever the implementation which we did, right? Remember, guys, from tomorrow onwards, a session will be a little bit faster because I think I almost covered all the basics which is required for everybody to catch up the speed. What do you think?
Yes, sir.
From tomorrow onwards, we'll be taking a deep dive into the Spring Boot features, something like.
Harish, I need one permission from you, I think. Can we create one WhatsApp groups where we can discuss the things, where we can learn from everyone?
That is
because
up.
you
I'm
are.
not sure. Please don't include me. Anyway, I will be over email. As I promised.
Yeah. I was just asking about you. That's it.
Right. It's up to you guys. Just please coordinate yourself and decide. Please, but don't add me to that group.
Okay. No. I was just asking about us only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please don't add me to that group. I will be responding.
Yeah. No
email.
problem.
I guess I'm doing that
Yeah.
already. As soon as possible. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Now, where was I? Yeah. First, let's understand what is index. What is the concept of index? Why we need indexes? Right. Let me open this MySQL. As of now, we have only 10 records. Okay. There is only 10 records. Right. Imagine if you are working on, let's say, recently I gave an example about Expedia, right? Right, guys? So do you
Yes.
know what is the transaction rate per second of Expedia? That means, do you know how many requests they accept per second? That means on an average, how many requests they are getting, how many hits Expedia is getting per second, guys, per second. So I was part of such kind of companies earlier, but not Expedia though. So I know that they were able to serve 870 requests per second. Okay, 870 requests per second, guys. That is a normal time. During peak, it will go to 2000 plus requests. What is meant by peak? When there are some offers and so. Okay, so if our database design is so poor, we cannot serve that kind of requests. There will be always a lag in the queries. Why? First, let's take an example. I'll just take that. Okay, let me, is there any better way? I guess this is okay. Let's take this as a database. Okay, I have something like records, some thousands of records like this, and I don't have a proper search, proper implementation of the query search. Okay, I wrote a query which is searching based on a string, not an ID, based on a string, and the string comparison is like. Okay, and like something like this. Okay, and there is no index or not such thing, no such thing at all, right? So what my query will do, first it will come here, search, second search, 3 matches, no search, matches, and goes on till the 1,000 records, till some, not only 1,000 records, till some lakhs of records, right? At that point of time, my DB will end up in a very bad state. The JDBC connection may not respond because it is a string and I don't have any index, right? It's not indexed properly, right? At that point of time, I may not able to respond on time. My transaction may fail, or my website will end up in the state of like every loading, right? Think from a end user perspective of view. Let's say you want to book a flight and it is taking like 5 minutes. Do you guys have such patience to stay on that site, or will you find another site? Yes, no, guys?
Finding a better one.
Right? You will find one more site. So that those things should not happen, right? So what we will do, we'll create an index. Now let's understand what is index and how it works, right? Index, how many of you guys know concept of hashing?
In Java, I know
Yes,
No,
hashing.
basically this is
Java
not related to Java, guys. This is a data structures concept.
structure. No, no idea.
Okay, for the guys who don't know, I'll explain what is hashing. Basically, whatever we are going to do, whatever the object, it comes with hash code. That depends again. How I'll get hash code? Whenever you try to insert some record, there will be a hashing algorithm which will run, and it'll create a hash code for you, right? Now let's see how based on hashing we'll store the data, right? Let's say I'm going to assume this as hash table, and we have hash codes here. Let's say 2, 3, 4, 5. Just giving an example, guys. 7, and so on, right? So the main principle of hashing algorithm which you choose is, it doesn't matter how many ever times you repeat the same algorithm on a particular object, it has to give the same code, hash code. What does that mean? Let's say, for example, my hashing algorithm is divided by 2. Very simple example, not only this one. Okay, example. So for first time I got a record as 10, I'm going to divide it by 2, and it will give 5. Next time I get the same record, I'm trying to search it this time. 10 divided by 2, 5. I can quickly go and look up in the 5 and return the record. That's why the main principle of hashing algorithm is, how many ever times you perform this algorithm, you apply this algorithm on the object, it has to give the same hash code. Clear with that, guys? Any questions on that? Right? Now already explained why we need that hash code, right? Now let's see how index works. I mean, like how hashing works, then we'll come to index. Now I have some numbers, let's say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, right? And again 100. Okay, I have only till 9. My hash storage is only till 9. So first time I'm dividing 10 by 10, so it will yield me 1, so I'll store it here. Okay, second time 20, I'll store it here. 30, I'll store it here, 4, 40 here, 50 here, 60 here, 70 here, 80 here, 90 here, 9, 10. Now the end result is more than my hash table which it can accommodate. So what I will do, we'll run the hash code again. It will give me some other result. I don't know this time what kind of result it will give. So based on the result, I'll append something else. Okay. Again, guys, that depends on the what kind of hashing algorithm and what kind of a technique behind you are using. Clear with the hashing concept, guys? Any questions on that? Because based on this concept only index works. Questions? Clear? You guys understood? Speak up, guys, please. Yes, no. If you guys don't understand, also I am happy to
Confused.
explain one
Yes,
more
Harish,
again, one more time again.
understand, Harish.
Okay, cool. Now let's see the index. For every index, it comes with a hashing algorithm, right? And there will be a hash table backed, right? Again, it looks like this. Let's say in our case, this is entire record, one record. I can store it here, assuming. Okay. Now I created an index based on truck license. That is my index. Now I got IVHFAR. IVHFAR. I did hashing and it gave me, okay, again, let's consider this time addresses, better addresses, 2009, 2006, 2008, and so on. Okay, that is my address of hash table. Now, after applying hash on this, I got the address as 2006. Now I'll store this here, right? Next, I got AP03HX004, right? Now I applied hash on that, so I may get 2006 again. Here, there is a conflict. So what I'm going to do, there are different ways to solve this conflict, and again, it depends on the technique which you are using. Basically, we don't have the choice of using when we are going with the indexes. What it will do, it will store in the next available immediate location. So the second record, AP03HX004, will be stored here. Right now, AP03HX007 will come. So I'll apply hashing. So it gives me something around 2020. Maybe it comes here. It will save here. Right. Similarly, that's how we're going to save all the records based on the hashing concept. So the hash number will be this one. Okay. Now I'm going to search a record based on the table, based on the column which is indexed. Let's say we index truck underscore license. Now what I will do, I'll give this IVHFAR. Okay, it will come here. We will going to apply IVHFAR. I'm going to apply some hashing algorithm on this. So it will yield again 2006. So quickly I'll go here and I can pick it up, this record, and I can return, right? Because based on the statement which I gave about hashing concept, how many ever times you apply the hash algorithm, it has to give me the same hash code. So now there is no need of searching all the records here, right? Whatever the records I have in here, I don't need to search, right? So this is very efficient way, and that's why we are going to use indexes. And the syntax, create index name on table name, and the column name. I'll show you in the next class if you still have doubts, but this is the concept of index. Any questions, guys? Or is it
Okay,
clear?
is it besides the primary key, or
Again,
it
guys,
should be on the primary key?
no. Indexes you can generate on any column whatever you want. There is no such rule that you have to create on primary keys. But since primary key is unique, right, we can create index on that as well. But that depends again. You may not. Okay, let's take an example. Again, Expedia site. Okay, am I searching based on primary key? Let's say, for example, there is a table called cities, and it is linking with availability of flights table. First, I am searching from city to city. I don't know. See, as a end user, do I know the city ID? I don't know city ID, but in my table, ID is a primary key, right? And there is a column called city, and I will be indexing the city column because my searches are mostly on city. So
City based, yeah.
yeah. So here, thumb rule, you will be creating index, okay, on the columns which you are going to use most for searching. Okay. Clear, guys?
Yeah.
Clear with that concept? Clear with the statement which I told? Pardon my writing here, it will be all over the place. I'm used to write in the whiteboard, but here, all over the place. So
One more thing. Are we going to create, or there will be someone who is going to handle these things?
good question. That depends on the project size, budget, and so many constraints will come into picture. There will be some DBAs who can help you with to assist, or some cases the place where I work, I have to do that. So not only me, all the developers has to do that. Okay, and of course, don't worry, your technical lead or architect will review your changes before going to production. So that means there is a checkpoint for you. There will always be a room for improvement. So don't worry about that, guys.
Yeah.
Cool.
So what about these queries, what we have written for the accessing the details like insert, update?
You have
I
to
mean,
do that.
totally
Nobody
crude
will help you.
operation. So we need to do that only, right?
Yeah, developers has to do that. And again,
Okay.
there will be reviews will be taken by architect or your technical lead. So if any changes, they will ask you to do change again. But at the end, you are the one who is going to do that because it is part of development. That's why I'm showing everything, guys. Okay.
Okay.
So any other questions? You guys understood the concept of hashing? Because
Yes.
it is a very important concept which you guys has to understand if you are working with any hash related collections in Java. I'm not sure who taught you Java, but I'm assuming that they might have given some background information about hashing concepts. So any other questions? Any questions? Not only on this topic, any other topic? Okay, here is assignment, guys. I want you guys to implement put mapping functionality and also patch mapping functionality, okay, on the same project which we created in the Spring Boot, okay, like a SOA implementation. Cool, guys? Any questions?
Clear.
Clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So don't hesitate to contact me at any point of time you are stuck, okay, during the weekend time as well. I'll try to respond as soon as possible.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
One thing, Harish, I have imported your project for the simplicity. So it is not picking up the JS files, I mean styles.
Okay, can you share it? I will have a quick look. We got 5 more minutes.
Okay, sure.
Make you post.
No need to make me host, I think.
You
I
can
can share.
Okay, cool. Share
Yeah.
it. Stop sharing.
Yeah.
I guess we don't need recording. I'll stop it. Do you guys need recording for that as well? Okay. Cool.
Yeah, can you see?
Yes.
So
Okay, let's go to main web app, display all. We have index, perfect. It is coming to login is in control, perfect. Let's check the context path of the application here in the logs. Let's check the context path. What is the context path?
I haven't specified it actually.
Okay, not required then. It has to pick up. application.properties.
But I'm confused. Is it the setting or what we need to do? Server.context.path or something
all.
is different?
That's all.
That's all, right?
That's all. Why
So
is
it
it?
is not picking here, I think.
Okay, that is weird.
I can rerun it if. Suppose I'm going there, http://localhost.
Okay.
0
Can you please kill it and run
/
it again?
log.
I just wanted to see the logs, what it is printing.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Can you show me the, okay, you forgot to write server dot, you forgot to write the specification. Let me tell you what exactly is that.
Okay.
Server dot servlet dot context hyphen path.
Yeah. Server dot.
Servlet. You forgot to write servlet, I guess. SCRVLET.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dot context dot path, right?
Hyphen path.
Hyphen path.
Yeah,
Okay.
there is a hyphen in between, like slash. Yes. And let's see, there is a error in the spring dot data source dot driver dot class. Is it equal to?
This one.
No.
Yeah, it is.
Go to, yeah. Okay. com.mysql.jdbc.driver. It is deprecated.
Something is CJ, right?
Yeah, CJ. Okay.
Okay, no problem. It will.
Okay.
Yeah, now it is picking up the
Now it picked up.
context path. Yeah.
Cool.
But every time it is downloading some file like login or something. I don't know why. HTTP colon localhost.
Is it downloading the file? You mean like?
Sorry?
Is it downloading the file instead of displaying it?
Yes, yes.
Okay, that means our internal view resolver did not pick up for some reason.
Oh.
Yeah, can you please open the
Suppose I'm
truck management
okay.
application.java?
Yeah.
And you did not specify, not there, @component scan. What did I tell you guys? Oh, it's under com.truck. Yeah, cool. You don't have to specify.
Yes.
That's cool. You don't have to specify. That's cool.
Yeah. And we have mentioned it here, right?
Yeah, we did that. Perfect. We did that.
Yeah.
Data source. Spring dot data source dot driver dot class, because I can't see that loading class. It's class name. You need to use class name, class hyphen name, like that. See,
Double life.
it is showing
This one. Yeah.
class hyphen name, and there is only one equal to. Yeah, try again now.
Yeah.
It work now. Can you please show me? It should be picking up. Scroll a little bit up here, in the console. Does it creating any JDBC? Because I can't see any JDBC here.
No, it is not showing anything.
It's not picking up. For some reason, it's not creating JDBC template for you. Can you please open? Can you please open the form.xml? Okay, scroll down. Dependencies. We have web validation, JDBC, dev tools. Come down. MySQL connector.java. Perfect. In the runtime you included. That is good. Test. That is good. Okay. Spring Boot application. There are some missing jar files. I'll ping you the dependency.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll send you the dependency. Anyway, I'll be sharing the project, right? You can import that project.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, there are some missing dependencies.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
So any other questions, guys? If no questions,